play. They're going to play later on. And right now, this is like an added surprise I'm so stoked about. Two of the biggest rock and roll bands in the world. From Guns N' Roses, Slash, and from Metallica, Lars. Surprise. First of all, obviously, stop laughing. Get serious now. I want to talk about something that starts off Friday in Washington, D.C. I'm going to be there with MTV, so that'll be good for me. I get to see both bands. The Guns N' Roses and Metallica tour. How did the whole thing come about?
I can't hear a word you're saying. I can't hear it.
You guys keep it down.
Everybody quiet for a second.
Come on.
I'm trying to talk to these guys. Okay. I want to talk about, obviously, the Guns N' Roses and Metallica. Hey, Slash. It's been a long time. How you doing? How's the family?
This is funny. I didn't know.
Anyways,
it's a long story. Right?
The Guns Metallica tour. It starts off Friday in Washington, D.C., and we're going to be there. I'm going to be there with MTV, and you'll be watching it, or you in Washington. Everybody will probably be there. Right. And I assume that you guys will be there.
Yeah,
so tell me, how did the tour come about?
Just because, well, we've been buds for a long time.
A lot of late nights.
It was real simple. We go out, we get drunk, and we go, let's
I find that so hard to believe.
That's the honest to God truth. That's how it happened.
And was it pretty tough? I mean, putting this type of show together. I know in a lot of places.
It was complicated, but we dealt with each other as friends.
Most of the times, you know, when the managers and the agents and stuff like that would sit there and, you know, we'd have to call each other up and say, look, we got to just resolve this and stuff like that. So, you know, me and him did a lot of the groundwork, and it's working out good.
So is it kind of you guys saying, hey, we just decided that
hey,
Guns N' Metallica
we're going on tour together, so you guys figure it out, okay?
Just so everybody knows, this is like equal billing, and it's a complete Guns N' Roses show and a complete Metallica show, right?
That's one thing. It's a co-tour, all right? So it's Metallica and Guns and Metallica. That's that.
Full stages for both bands.
Everybody knows.
Both
it's not
playing
like
full headline
anybody
shows.
trying to pull some sort of star trip. It's really just a summer concert. It's gonna be cool.
And what are the kind of things, any special surprise you want to give out, like about the stage? I know that you guys had that.
Well, we have our snake pit thing that we had indoors, and we have that kind of in stadium format.
So you're still going to let people in the middle?
Yeah.
Now,
we're going
are
to
the
be
same people going to be in the middle for the gun show too?
No.
You're going to throw them right. Sorry, now you got to get out.
No, the Metallica show, they do their trip and we do ours.
Yeah. I mean, that was the whole idea. Was, you know, we do 2.5 hours of our thing, they do 2.5 hours of their thing, and it's completely different, you know.
Now, how long is sets? So you guys, I mean, this is like a whole day thing. They're going to start at like 3 o'clock.
And there's also Faith No More.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to ask you, because I know that Guns, you guys have always liked Faith No More. I know Faith No More opened up for you before.
A couple years ago.
So how did that come about?
We had them in Europe. No, we didn't have them, but they
come on. So now we know how they got the tour.
They opened up for us in Europe, and they were great.
Okay, one thing.
And Soundgarden as well. All right,
but Soundgarden isn't playing this.
We're not going to be. Unfortunately,
they're not on this one. It's just.
Then we'd have to make it into like a 2-day event.
Exactly. You know? But they go for 2-day events. Just so. One thing that I want to get cleared up so everybody knows, Axl is out of jail.
He's out of jail. He's in court right now. I was like, hey.
So any members?
The situation in St. Louis is the prosecutor, which I don't know his name, he's I don't know what his point is, but he's trying to make a point, and luckily on our behalf, Axl's dealing with it.
Yeah, we saw Axl. He looked great. He looked like he had an okay time in jail.
Because it's a joke. He was having a great time. I talked to him yesterday. Like, you know,
a lot of people just don't believe that this is happening. Yeah, you know, a lot of people the last couple of days we've been hanging out. You know, it's a tour canceled, blah blah blah. And it's like you know we're going down to D.C. tomorrow.
Washington D.C. Friday.
We're going down to D.C. to do sound checks and stuff like that. They've been down there working for like a whole week setting up like this enormous stage and everything, and we're going down there. It's reality.
People think it's some sort of like big hype thing. And it's not, you know, we set this up, we're doing this tour.
I think it's the type of thing for a rock fan to see your two favorite bands in the world probably playing together. It's kind of amazing.
You know, especially with Guns N' Roses, we have so many mishaps.
I find that hard to believe.
So like for example, Detroit's flipping out because they don't know if we're going to play or not because we canceled there 3 times. And it's not like we don't want to play Detroit. It's just because we've had all these, you know, circumstances, we'll call them, which have prevented us from being able to get there. So we are playing. You know,
we're gonna be back.
Anybody in Detroit that's worried, you know, we are coming.
They will be there, as far as you know. And we're going to be back talking to Slash and Lars in a little bit. But right now it's time to check in with Matt Gallant with news. Matt.
All day we've been in.
You might remember earlier, I told you. I know you're going to be watching, so you can find out all about Axel's arraignment, right? Anyways, we were talking a little bit about this tour, which is probably the biggest tour to hit ever. Guns N' Roses, Metallica, and Faith No More.
Right.
And one thing that we were talking about a little bit earlier is there's a lot of big cities that you guys aren't going to hit, and it's not by your choice, right?
No, it's we sat down, like basically picked like the 30 biggest cities in the country, and when it came time to like Cleveland, Philly, Atlanta, I think Kansas City, places like that, they just said, stay away. And like we tried.
St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah, St. Louis.
That was not one of the cities that was picked, believe me. But like the stadiums there, we tried like race tracks, you know, I mean, do you have a field? We'll show up and play in a field, you know, find us a sewer system, we're there. But I just want to tell all the kids in those cities that it's not because we didn't, you know, not for lack of trying, you know, you guys in Atlanta and Cleveland and so on, you guys are gonna have to do a little driving, but hey, we tried.
Yeah, because sometimes people in those cities say, oh, God, Guns and Metallica, they're forgetting about us. But you guys want to play all these cities, right?
Yeah,
You
we
want to
sat
play
down,
everywhere.
Yeah, we
Because,
sat
I mean,
down.
even in L.A., I know with the Rose Bowl, it took forever to finally say, hey, this Guns and Metallica show is going to be okay. You neighbors don't have to worry about anything. Which is another thing, you know, you might want to tell the people that go to the show, you love the screaming and yelling, but, you know, make sure that everybody's kind
No, you got to get to a point where it's your show, yeah, but at the same time it's got to be organized, and it's got to be formulated to a point where you can get as many people into one place without having any like upheaval, you know. And then finally you start to narrow it down to, okay, this city, we played there before, so we know exactly it's going to be organized.
Because like one other thing,
gotta make sure also that and these places that they'll let other shows come in afterwards.
And the other thing that I think like a lot of the people that go to these shows don't understand is when everybody goes nuts, it might be fun tearing out the chairs and throwing them up on stage, but you guys have to pay for that.
St.
You
Louis
know?
I know all about that.
Yeah, let's tear up the chairs. Well, here's the bill.
I only have one amp that works still. I have one amp. I go on tour with one amp.
So scream and yell, go nuts.
But just remember, if you guys start rebel, see, the thing is, a lot of kids think, you know, they start tearing out seats or, you know, screwing up the place, or that they're rebelling against the venue or the promoter. But what they're really rebelling against is just us, because we have to, you know, pay the bills, and it gives like all heavy metal a bad name because they don't want any more rock stars.
Yeah, that's why there's not shows in places like Cleveland and Philly.
Yeah,
it's a weird feeling.
Guys, thanks a lot for stopping by. And we'll see you in Washington. I'll be there for the first Guns, Metallica, Faith No More show. Coming up, we're going to crown today's 6 o'clock Slug Out champion. Here are the standings so far.
Where he'd been vacationing with his girlfriend, model Stephanie Seymour. However, although Rose was set loose by the St. Louis judge, he was also told to be back in town for a trial on October 13th. And while in court, he was also served with civil lawsuits by concertgoers who claimed they'd been injured during last summer's riot. Will all this legal turmoil be weighing on Rose's mind when the Guns N' Metallica tour gets underway in Washington, D.C. this Friday night? We asked Rose's partner, guitarist Slash, and here's what he had to tell us.
Axel's fine. I talked to him yesterday. He's dealing with the logistics of this guy in St. Louis, and I don't want to say anything that's going to put the band in a weird position, but the guy's asshole.
Okay. But apart from that.
All right, so he's dealing with him, and he's got a good attitude about it.
In political news,
15 minutes away from the Metallica rockumentary, and I'm here with Duff from Guns N' Roses, and we're at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. on the stage. This is the first day of the tour that's about to kick off, and around how long is this tour going on for?
Well, just over 2 months, man. We just got back from Europe for 2.5 months, but this is the tour, man. This is the tour.
Yeah, this is pretty wild. I mean, Guns N' Roses and Metallica. How did the whole thing get set up?
Well, I mean, as you know, I mean, we're both bands are good friends. We hang out in Hollywood and stuff together when they're there and when we're there. And we just like literally at bars and stuff, we talk about, wow, we should tour together, and it finally came together after a lot of, you know, bold, you know.
The kind of thing, though, that went through the bands before it really went to the managers, like, let's do a Guns Metallica. It was like, hey, let's play together.
It was really all the bands that did it. I mean, you know, when it came down to it, you know, it was the bands that made all the decisions, you know, and just got kind of legislated through the management and all that. So,
great.
Yeah, so it's a band tour. It's like, you know, it's not a corporate tour or nothing like that. It's set up by the bands.
Right on. And we'll be back here exactly at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. But right now, you can lead to this video.
November Rain. I think I'm in this or something.
I think I'm in it too, for like that much.
That's right.
Here's GNR, November Rain. With Flying to Pieces, obviously this tour is happening. Guns N' Roses are sound checking, doing Coma in the background right now. And right now, let's play a video from another band that's playing this monster tour. Here's Metallica with Enter Sandman. We're here at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., here with Duff. And in about 5 minutes, we're going to see a brand new special, Guns N' Roses, past, present, and future. And we're talking a little bit about this tour. And you mentioned earlier that it was just kind of a thing that the bands kind of put together, that you guys said to Metallica or vice versa, let's just do this whole tour. Now, what type of problems have been arising, you know, because I'm sure a lot of people would think that Guns N' Roses and Metallica, you know, the kind of tour, it's just, I mean, it's an amazing idea for the fans especially.
Well, there's no problems at all. I mean, like I said before, both bands are great friends, and you know, I'm sure people could see how it would be like, oh, we're competing for the top spot, but it's not like that, you know. It's like we're both rock and roll bands, and we want to tour together, and that's that. Simple as that, you know.
So it's not any kind of clash of egos. It's just two huge bands that want to play together.
Yeah, two bands who want to play together.
With a third band, Faith No More.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Right now, let's play a video from Guns N' Roses, which was actually, even though it appeared on the last album, one of your older songs, right?
It was like, if not the first song we ever wrote, yeah.
Here's RFK in Washington, D.C., and we're about to kick off an hour of Guns N' Roses. In a half an hour, you're going to see a half hour of live Guns N' Roses performances. And right now, it's Guns N' Roses, past, present, and future.
For the first time in their career, Guns N' Roses are playing Paris, the Hippodrome de Vincennes to be exact, before a local audience of some 40,000 fans and an estimated 200,000 households in 14 countries that will be watching the pay-per-view concert via satellite.
It's the only reason we're doing it is because it's a vehicle for us to get our show out to a bunch of people that don't have the opportunity to see it. So that's that.
And also, I might want to add, it's not like a profit-motivated thing for us to make money. It's just for kids that, because we're only playing certain towns and certain places, and kids that don't get to see us and can't afford it and can't make it, it gives them an opportunity to see us. So I hope it all works out great.
Guns N' Roses aren't complete pay-per-view rookies. Axl Rose and former Guns guitarist Izzy Stradlin joined the Rolling Stones for a song during the Stones' own cable special back in December of 1989. And Guns will have some special guests of their own for this Parisian broadcast. Chief among them, former Yardbirds guitar legend Jeff Beck, singer Lenny Kravitz will be doing his own Always on the Run, a song on which Slash played guitar. And Steven Tyler and Joe Perry of Aerosmith, a group for which Guns N' Roses opened a few years back, will be stepping out on stage for run-throughs of Train Kept A-Rollin' and the Aerosmith classic Mama Kin. In addition, cable viewers will be seeing an opening set by Seattle's own Soundgarden, which is currently touring Europe with Guns and Faith No More. For those who can't actually be in Paris for this show, but will be watching at home, Guns N' Roses have a few tips.
They should turn all the lights down and stuff. They should have lighters in their hand. They should have beers or their cocktails nearby. And they should treat it just like a concert.
So everybody at home should just have a great time, because that's what the whole rock thing is about.
And will this televised concert be any different from a normal Guns N' Roses gig, if there is such a thing?
not like we're going to put on tuxedos or something and make this a whole big deal, you know. We're just going to play a show, and that's that.